The 3 Count Pod is live and we want the smoke. Welcome to the 3 Count Podcast once again. Today on the show, we're going to review Extreme Rules. We're going to look at what happened on a bumper AEW Rampage Grand Slam. And we're going to look ahead to the upcoming WWE Draft. And Benny and I, we're going to sit in the GM's chairs ourselves and pick who we would draft if we were currently the GMs of Raw and Smackdown. I'm your host, Dylan Chambers. And just for today, here is 3 Count's Raw GM, Ben Hobden. How are you?
Good, mate. We're in the red. We're in the red for Raw. We're gonna make Raw the number one team again. You know,
Team Red. When I took this challenge on, you said I'll take Raw and I'll make the show great again. And I thought, okay, so I've got the easy job. I'm on SmackDown. That's got a better roster. But
exactly, that's how I'm going to make it better.
It is the other way around. I want to be poaching that SmackDown talent, but that's so I will be SmackDown GM. But in any case, we'll get into it. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hit that follow button for us. Benny, before we look at the two big shows that happened last week, what is happening in the world of wrestling?
Mate, there's a bit going on. Obviously, we had our Daniel Vito, Zion Quinn, had a good win on 205 Live and then backed it up this morning on NXT, beat Oney Lorcan again. So that's a couple of good wins for him.
He's looking good, Vito, aka Zion Quinn. It's kind of weird to try and get your head around saying Zion Quinn, but
I actually had to write it. I had to write it down in front of me because I just couldn't. I was like, "What doesn't sound right?" But yeah,
from two rugby league fans, hard to get a head around. But he looked really good. He did this awesome like Samoan drop into a kip up, and he's looking good. He needs to work on that finisher. I'm not sure a crossbody elbow is going to get it done in the big leagues, but he's got potential and he's got the character. He looks good in the ring.
As you say, he's got the look. That's one of the biggest things. What else? Keith Lee, new name.
Yeah, they've
the Bearcat
repackaged him.
It's different. Well, they were going to repackage him with Adam Cole, obviously, but obviously that didn't happen. So there was talk that Adam Cole was also going to get a name change if he came up to do that, and they were going to shave his head because they didn't want to confuse him with Michael Cole.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Makes no sense to me.
Ridiculous, some of this stuff. But yeah, Keith Lee, Bearcat Keith Lee. Apparently, he did a kind of post-Raw interview, and he's kind of coming off a bit heelish. So, I mean, he came out and he destroyed Akira Tozawa. So maybe we got that heel turn from Keith Lee, which could be fun.
It was something different, which is good. There's not much else going on. I guess we'll talk about a lot of it because it's all sort of been shows that we're going to talk about. So,
my other note was that in more Aussie NXT news, Grayson Waller. Sorry, not Grayson Allen. That's a basketball reference. Grayson Waller unsuccessful in his cruiserweight title match against Roderick Strong.
Yeah, that was on today. It was not a bad match either.
Yeah. We got Bryan Danielson finally getting his first 5-star match from Dave Meltzer.
That was a cracking match. How about getting that for free?
Yeah, that was
incredible. I know we talked about it the other day, but it's still sort of on my mind. It was a great match.
It was brilliant. More Aussie news. We got Shane Thorne, who was Slapjack, I believe. He's got a new gimmick, which he's been running out in dark matches of kind of like a Steve Irwin gimmick, a crocodile hunter gimmick.
I didn't see it properly. I seen a little like a headline or something, and I didn't know what it was. I think it was Jonah, obviously formerly known as Bronson Reed, tweeted it. I was like, what is this? And then, that was different.
That'll be interesting to see if he gets a main roster run with it. He's been doing the SmackDown dark matches, apparently. So
if he pulls out a crikey, then we'll be fine.
You know what? To be honest, I think it'd really get over.
Could be good.
He'd at least get him a shot at the 24/7 title, surely.
Well, Ricochet went for that yesterday. So, I mean, it's weird how that's going on there. The Miz, he made it through his first elimination in Dancing with the Stars. So
good job, Miz.
Good work. That's awesome.
That is awesome. We've got Edge is going to be returning to SmackDown this week after being brutalized by
short return.
Seth Rollins. I thought he'd be out for a lot longer, so it'll be interesting. I'm sure it'll tie in with the draft somehow.
Yeah.
We've heard that NXT will be part of the draft, so could be some call-ups coming our way.
I think they'll just do like they'll pick one random one to start off, and then especially with the 2.0. So I'm guessing it's going to be people that have been there for a while. Then you'd think if they want to go with this new talent. So
I would think so. Speaking of the draft, apparently the Fox and USA executives already know who's going to be swapping brands. WWE told them a little bit earlier, so nothing leaked out, unfortunately, but interesting to know that they told the TV partners beforehand.
Well, they've probably got a big say in it these days, you'd think, as well, because they haven't been real happy with some of the stuff.
I mean, I can imagine USA wouldn't be.
No, exactly.
And last thing I have is Royal Rumble 2022. We're going to get it over here on a Sunday. It's going to be a Saturday night in the States on January 29. So that'll be Sunday, January 30th over here, live from St. Louis, Missouri. So we get another Sunday pay-per-view, which will be fun. And the Royal Rumble.
That's my favorite one of the year. There's talk of SummerSlam being in the UK again next year as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I only read that like half an hour ago. So I haven't read the full article, but it's just throwing it around at the moment.
Well, that would be the 30-year anniversary since it was there for the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Head on back to our old episodes. You can see what we thought.
That's right. Go for the retro recap. Now we'll move on to Rampage Grand Slam, which we saw this week, which is another brilliant show put on by AEW. I don't know if it was as good as Dynamite, but it was certainly up there. Lots of names. We had CM Punk kicking things off by defeating Powerhouse Hobbs. It was a pretty good match, but Punk looked pretty exhausted at the end.
He looked tired, yeah.
He looked very tired. And Powerhouse Hobbs is a big dude, so to be able to get him up for that go to sleep, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. He was a big boy.
Yeah. We then had the Super Click making their debut all together, defeating Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. What did you think of that one, Benny?
Yeah, it was all right. Look, they had to use all their arsenal to get it done in the end. Panama City Sunrise, I can't get past that with Cole. It's just one of my favorite things that he does. So I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, great match. They are so smug. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no one more smug in the business.
No.
We then had Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They beat Chris Jericho and Jake Hager, and right at the end,
it was all about after this match, not really the match itself.
Yeah, the match wasn't so much. It wasn't so much about the match, but yeah, afterwards, all the MMA guys got into the ring, and Jericho got beaten up by Paige Van Sant and Jorge Masvidal.
Cop that massive knee from Jorge.
Yeah.
Ben Askren's come out and asked for royalties for. They used his name, and he's like, "I want my royalties."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then I saw Masvidal was at UFC.
He was,
266 the other day. So,
and he's in another one of his robes.
Yeah.
Big drip.
Congratulations to Volk too.
How good was that?
Let's veer off for a second.
Yeah, definitely.
That match, the Volkanovski Ortega match, was just incredible.
That third round, that choke, he was just gone, and like
Volk looked gone twice. He had a triangle choke once, and I think another was just a regular choke. But
yeah, the guillotine.
He looked done for all guillotine. That's it. He looked done for all money.
Gone. He even said afterwards he thought it was like, I'm going to lose the title choke. That's how tight it was in. And then
incredible. He snuck out of it and got back on top after each of them and just
dominated after that. And then the fourth round, I didn't think he was going to come out for the fifth, but to Ortega's credit, he came back out and then just fought he got another leg. He just went again, and I was pacing up and down my living room for the last minute and a half because it's like, if he loses from here, this is going to be the worst. So,
he looked dangerous in that fifth round. I mean, his face was just puffed up from just getting hammered, but yeah, incredible.
Volk got up at the press conference and did a shoey, so
nice.
Keeping the dream alive.
It's very nice.
I've had a few of those this year now.
Love you, Volk. Love you.
On your Volk.
All right. We then move on. We had the Lucha Bros and Santana and Ortiz defeated the Butcher, Blade, and Private Party. Not really much going on there.
Nah, it wasn't much there.
Afterwards, Matt Hardy challenged Orange Cassidy to a hair v hair match, but saying that it wasn't going to be him, he threw Jack Evans under the bus and challenged Jack Evans v Orange Cassidy hair v hair match. So we'll see if that happens. We had Miro taking out Fuego del Sol and Sammy Guevara on the ramp. Hurdled Fuego off the stage and locked in the game over on Sammy on the stage. So
setting up for tomorrow's big match.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, I don't see Miro losing that title, but
I can't see it either. But they could throw something up. But I think if he's going to lose, there's going to be to somebody else other than Sammy.
And well, they've definitely underutilized Sammy recently too. He hasn't really been on any of the big cards, and he's a top flight wrestler. So
yeah, it's Miro. I just can't see him being. It's a complete underdog, isn't it? I suppose it could happen.
You never know. We will see. Anna Jay defeated Penelope Ford. The Hardy family office came out, then Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander, and then the Dark Order. It was just all happening.
All in.
all in. So they ended up clearing the ring, and it looked like the Dark Order were going to mend their fences, but Evil Uno then walked away from them. So
tomorrow,
I mean, I've just got this thing in my head of Bray Wyatt coming to lead the Dark Order, but I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know if Dark Order's big time enough, to be honest.
Well, it would elevate them, wouldn't it?
I mean, Brody Lee elevated them pretty well already.
And they're in Rochester tomorrow. They're dedicating the show to Brody Lee. It all leads up to having Bray Wyatt, Rotunda come out. So so his non-compete would not be over unless he negotiated it to be over. So we'll see. I mean, AEW has been full of surprises. So although they usually let stuff leak out a little bit, just so there's so much talk. I don't think they need to let it leak.
That's true.
It's all there.
And we had the main event.
Wow.
We had Kingston and Moxley defeated Suzuki and Archer after a debuting for AEW. Homicide came out of the crowd to help out Kingston and Moxley. What'd you think of that one, Benny?
Mate, this was just violent.
It was.
Homicide is probably the word that you'd almost use for this. It was just short of sending the police in, I think.
It was a pretty heavy match with Moxley. He got handcuffed and it was just getting beaten senseless. But yeah, it was just a whole bunch of violence in that last match.
Yeah, just nonstop as well. Like they did more in that match than Extreme Rules did.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah.
It's speaking of Extreme Rules, we'll sashay off into that.
I was just going to say as well, NXT this morning, B-Fab versus Elektra Lopez. That match was more extreme than the whole pay-per-view of Extreme Rules. So I still can't wrap my head around this. But yeah, let's get into Extreme Rules.
Yeah, let's get into Extreme Rules, where there was only one match that was Extreme Rules. We start off on the pre-show. We had Liv Morgan against Carmella. Look, not a bad pre-show match for the girls. Liv showing a lot of potential. She finished off Carmella with a pretty cool-looking move called the Oblivion Slingshot.
Is that what they called it? I missed that bit.
The Oblivion.
Right. Makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, it was what it was. I gave it a 1.5 count, to be honest. Because it did what it was supposed to do.
Mate, it's because you've got the biggest fangirl action over Liv, and that's all it is. I gave it a 1/2 count.
1/2 count. All right, that's fair. I mean, look, I just feel like they're pushing Liv. I feel like she's working her way to a title match. I'm hoping, and I don't think she's going to continue to live in obscurity, but they just need, if they're going to do something with her, the draft's coming up, they need to get her away from Carmella and Zelina Vega, because the three of them's just a portal to nowhere.
Yeah. Well, who's she going to go up against though? Like, do they throw her straight in against Charlotte now?
No, it's too soon, but
so who's she got to step over? Like, obviously yesterday, Charlotte went up against Dewdrop. Does Liv go up against Shayna? Obviously, Shayna's going to go into the title picture now against Charlotte, you'd think.
Maybe they just keep building her into this underdog and Royal Rumble comes up.
Okay.
Just a thought, but maybe
you didn't get your wish at Money in the Bank, mate. I don't know if you're going to get your wish at Rumble, but
no, probably not. Still plenty of
time away.
So we then move into the start of the pay-per-view with a bit of a surprise match to kick things off, which wasn't really advertised. It was the New Day against Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. And yeah, it turned out to be one of the better matches on the card.
It was a really good match, yeah.
Yeah, kind of finished with some one-upmanship in tagging each other in and out between Lashley and Styles. So a blind tag meant that Big E dodged a spear from Lashley and sent him into Styles, and Lashley copped a big ending for a Big E pin. Yeah. And I gave it a 2 count. I thought it was a pretty good match.
I gave it a 1.5 count. There was the obvious drama, as you said, between Lashley and AJ, which, they could branch back to, and that could be a possible feud there in the future, I guess. almost just did his terrible selling on the outside and stuff. Surely somebody's got to see this and pull him into line. So, like, is anybody going to tell him that it's so bad? He pulls the same face. It's just always, it's just nothing. I can't get around him.
I don't think Vince cares.
As we said, Vince is raking the cash. He's all good. But it was a pretty decent match, and we didn't expect it. So, and Lashley ate the pin. So that's
right. So, I mean, on Raw, Big E and Lashley faced off first in a regular title match, which descended into a bit of chaos because apparently the Hurt Business is back together. So, old Shelty B and Cedric Alexander came down to the
no MVP, so they're back.
No MVP, and then Woods and Kofi interfered, so it was all a bit of a shambles. And then Adam Pearce made it a steel cage match for later in the night, where Big E ended up winning with a big ending. Match. Big ending off the second rope. It was a really good match to finish off Raw. And then we saw Drew McIntyre showed up on the ramp and signaled his intentions for a shot at the title.
Yeah, he won't get one because he'll be over on SmackDown next week. So it won't matter.
We'll see. And also during Raw, Goldberg addressed Lashley saying that he wants to basically kill him for putting his hands on his son. So that was pretty heavy, but I mean they're leading up to this crown jewel.
Yeah, Goldberg's got such a good history of crown jewel in Saudi Arabia, so I mean, should be a great match.
Well, it also makes sense, if they want to have that babyface finish at crown jewel, the belt's already off Lashley. They don't have to put it on Goldberg.
Thank goodness.
So kind of makes sense. It hurts Lashley to eat a pin, but
well,
but he's eaten a lot of pins from Big E recently, so.
But they need to do that to make Big E the champ that he is. Because I think Big E being like that fun, doing so much fun stuff and all that kind of thing takes away from being a champ a little bit because he's just not used to that. So I mean, him pinning Lashley a couple of times gives him a bit of credibility.
We then move on to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Usos against the Street Profits. Great match between the two teams. I mean, it's what you always expect from the Usos, right? A very solid, brilliantly done tag team match. Ended with the Usos hitting a double splash on Montez Ford to get the win.
To be honest, I think it almost stole the show. It was probably my favorite match of the show.
Yeah, it was a really good match.
Yeah, that front flip that Montez did over the top of the ring corner out onto the outside, that was pretty. He's he's got such good hops. Like, he's so athletic.
He looks incredible. And, I don't think it's time to break up the Street Profits yet, but I think if they do, I think I know who's going to get the push.
Yeah, I think so too. They spent a lot of emphasis on his ribs and all that kind of stuff, which was part of the story of the match, which I really think just added to it. And yeah, it was a brilliant match. I gave it a 2 count, but I mean, it probably could have been a 2.5 to be honest.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 as well. I mean, there wasn't anything that blew my mind in this pay-per-view, not to give away anything else, but yeah, a 2 count was one of the best matches on the card. And I think there's a lot more left in the tank for this feud. I don't know how the draft's going to go, but I don't think either team's going to go anywhere. I think they'll keep this going.
Yeah.
We then move on to the Raw Women's Championship match with Charlotte Flair defending against Alexa Bliss. A match surprisingly with no chicanery or
which was good.
Weird stuff going on. It was really good. Ended up with Charlotte getting the pin after natural selection. And then after the match, Charlotte just ripped the doll Lily to shreds. Bliss grabbed the destroyed Lily and was foaming at the mouth, although you could see the tablet in her mouth that she was trying to get it to make her foam.
Surely she could have just had her got enough spit or something. Like, it didn't work. It just looked like she was spitting.
Yeah.
Rather than proper foam, you know what I mean?
And that tablet was just, it didn't look like it was going anywhere.
Yeah, it was just sitting on her tongue. It was like that big. I was like, what is going on here?
She didn't practice with that beforehand?
When Charlotte threw her over the announce table and she went under the announce table, I was expecting like her to wipe all the makeup off and get changed or something and then come back as like the old Alexa.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But then she just came up and just all she did was put the tablet in her mouth. It was pretty poor form. Like I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah.
I gave it a 1.5 count to be honest with the match though. I thought it was a pretty decent match. Charlotte did that moonsault, landed and then did the backflip on top of her, which is a old Andrade move, but that was pretty impressive. Yeah. And then just all that stuff after sort of ruined it for me. They just spent too much time on it.
Well, I gave it a 1.5 to start and then dropped the half off for all the stuff at the end. So
I just left that bit out. I focused on the match. So
got a 1 count for me. I mean, I'm hoping, and there's rumors are that this will see a bit of a Bliss character turn.
Well, I reckon she's going to be off TV for a bit now, so
that maybe they get rid of this whole Bray Wyatt style
well, I did say
nonsense
that on the
she's been
preview.
going
This was
on
the
with.
chance. This was the chance for him to finally get that off and
Yeah, for sure.
take her
And
in a different direction.
I mean, we saw on Raw, Charlotte took on Doudrop in a title match, which Flair won after Eva Marie distracted Doudrop. But I think, could this be leading up to a Shayna Baszler, Charlotte Flair? I mean, depending on what happens with the draft, but Shayna's getting the push at the moment. She's just destroying people.
Dominant. She looks very dominant. So
she destroyed Eva Marie after
that's not hard
really, on Raw, which isn't hard to do, but apparently, kayfabe put her elbow out of joint. So, she's getting a bit of a push. If WWE decide to go that way, I think a Charlotte Baszler feud would be really cool. We then move on to the United States Championship triple threat match with Damien Priest, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy. Pretty fun triple threat match, finished by a schoolboy roll-up pin by Priest on Sheamus for the win.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it at all. I thought it was very flat.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get into the match at all. I could not warm to it. I feel like we've seen it so many times. It just felt like the same thing.
That's true. We have seen Priest and Sheamus a lot.
And then we've seen it again on Raw. Like it just sort of... But look, I gave it a 1 count. It was what it was. It sort of filled it in. It was almost the popcorn match for me. It just sort of filled the void. You know what I mean? So
I gave it a 1.5 just because it was just along the line.
Yeah, I've heard reports that the crowd were going crazy throughout the match, but I just didn't.
There was a lot of crowd behind Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, and obviously, yeah.
And it kind of, I kind of had this thought in my head: maybe they will give Jeff the title.
There was a couple of false finishes and stuff, but it just
obviously not to be. But as you mentioned, Priest beat Sheamus in a no DQ title match on Raw, and this rivalry's got to be done skis.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. And then Hardy was in a weird 6-man as well. Like,
yeah,
he just goes from the US title picture to a weird 6-man that just means nothing.
They just throw him in everywhere. I mean, he teamed with Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with.
I guess you have Jeff Hardy in a matchup with anybody. The old school fans love to see Jeff, so they'll just
that must be the plan, right? They don't really have anything for him. Let's just throw him around and we'll get the pop for him.
Yeah,
that's got to be it.
It's going to be a terrible match either way, so let's just throw Jeff Hardy in so that we don't lose the audience, I guess.
That's very good point. Very good point. So I mean, obviously with the draft coming up, there's just got to be a new challenger for that US title. I don't see anyone currently on the Raw roster that excites me for a
KO, Sami Zayn.
Yeah. So hopefully we see someone move over and jump into that title picture. We then have the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. If you thought Becky had lost a step, we were wrong.
She looked great.
She looked very good.
This was a brilliant match.
Really good match. And, it was going great. And just as Belair was about to hit the kiss of death, Sasha Banks makes her return and attacks her and then attacks Becky. So it led to a DQ finish. And then she said she'll see them both on SmackDown.
Can I just say as well, I picked Belair to win. So technically I'm right. It was DQ. She hit Belair first. So
if you put the money on Sportsbet, do you get that if technically she won by DQ?
No. That's not what we're saying. I'm just saying between us, I picked Belair.
That you did. Well, congratulations on your correct tip.
It's about time I got something right. I've been terrible with these picks lately. So it's good to see the boss back, though. These three, wow, this has just got so Banks, Belair, and Becky. It's got such good chance to be anything amazing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if they do anything at Crown Jewel with the whole women having to be, fully dressed up and that kind of thing. But it's a triple threat match between those three could just blow the roof off the place.
Yeah, well, where do you do it though? Like, I mean, do you waste it too soon or do you save it up? Like
Survivor Series.
It could be that's like a WrestleMania main event. You know what I mean? Like, so
it'd be interesting to see where they go.
Survivor Series would make sense.
Do you think they'll all stay put?
I think you have to with the heat from what after that match.
I think so too.
But then, if they do switch over, that's where Survivor Series can come into it because whoever doesn't have the belt could be the team captain for the other team, and then that's where you have the Survivor Series match against each other.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I just think these three are going to feud over the belt for a little while.
Yeah,
they might change hands a few times, but I think it could go the distance for a few months at least. We then go. Sorry, I didn't give my count. I gave it a 2 count.
Yeah, 2 count for me as well.
We then go to the final match of the evening, the Universal Championship match. We had Roman Reigns against the Demon, Finn Balor. What was interesting?
Extreme. It was extreme.
An extreme rules match. It was interesting. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I didn't mind it. But same. After being beaten down by Reigns and the Usos, the Demon lay flat and his music started, seemingly bringing him back to life.
Don't forget the red lighting. Vince loves that red lighting.
Loves that red lighting. The red lighting stayed. It had the heartbeat. He was pulsating. When the music fully hit, he got straight back up and laid out the Usos and Reigns and threw Reigns back in the ring. Just as he was about to hit the coup de grace and get the win, what happened?
Schmoz. What was that? The ring broke.
The top ropes broke.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were on some sort of lever, like all of them broke all around the ring.
All around the whole ring, yeah.
Which sent Balor flying, which allowed Reigns to hit the spear and get the win.
Now, the theory behind it, I guess, is the Demons never lost in WWE. So is this their way? He loses now, but is this their way of saying, you know, it's sort of covering him a little bit?
It wasn't a clean loss.
Reigns got lucky. I've seen a couple of memes that people are like coming out and saying John Cena's turned heel finally and he's helped Reigns win the title. Everyone's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, you can't see him out there while he's doing it. So, I mean, yes.
That's
bad dad jokes. That's what we need. That's what we need. That's how bad it was.
We love dad jokes. I gave it a 2 count.
Yeah, 2 count for me. Pat McAfee was going crazy. It was hilarious.
He had so much.
So much.
He had so much.
It's good.
I thought, I mean, up until the schmoz, which to be honest, I didn't mind in the end. I thought it was a really good match.
I just think they could have schmozzed it some other way. It was sort of.
Has WWE secretly re-signed Wyatt?
Well, I was hoping that was when they first put the boom boom and the red light. I got excited. That would have been pretty cool. But I just can't see him coming back
because they did have a rivalry which kind of didn't really get resolved. Between him and the Demon. But in any case, Reigns now sets his sights on Lesnar at Crown Jewel. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if someone's involved in the ropes breaking.
There has to be something, like somebody has to say or do something.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if they just leave that unexplained, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they've got to show something. So hopefully we get something good out of that instead of just the ring broke.
On another thing, why do we need so many kendo sticks under the ring?
On another note, why is 3 kendo sticks taped together going to hurt more than one?
This is the questions we need to ask, right? Listeners, let us know what you think. Why is this happening?
I kind of thought, the 3 kendo sticks look a lot more like solid, like it would hurt less.
But yeah, there's more air. Yeah, I don't know.
In any case,
overall, very average pay-per-view for me.
It was, but I think we expected it to be. Yeah. I mean, we got some decent matches out of it, which I think is like probably more than I expected to get. So I wasn't disappointed, but I think I was just even keel.
Yeah, just nothing crazy that made you just want to go, oh my gosh. But,
that's right. Yeah. So hopefully next year they get Extreme Rules, and we will see.
Well, they just ditch it altogether.
Yeah, just ditch it. Just give it another name. Just
name it something different.
Don't play around with it. So we have the draft coming up this week, and Benny, we thought we'd do something a bit fun this week. We're going to jump in the hot seats ourselves. Ben, you're going to be the Raw general manager. I'm going to be the SmackDown general manager. We're going to take the current rosters. We're going to make 5 draft choices each. We have to have 1 tag team and 1 female wrestler. And we're also going to get 1 NXT call up each. So we'll have 6 choices all in all. We cannot choose any champions. So champions will not change shows. We'll post all our draft choices on the socials, and you can let us know who drafted best, you know, which show you think would be better off for it, or anyone we missed out on that we should have drafted. So Benny, being the Raw GM, I will let you go first. Raw is Monday night, SmackDown is Friday. So you can go start of the week.
All right. Well, see, this is the thing. We're only going off the current SmackDown WWE online roster.
That's correct. So the current WWE rosters on WWE.com.
There's a bit of conjecture here because the person I wanted to pick says they were on Raw, but they've been on SmackDown the whole time, but recently.
Well, just go off those rosters, champ.
Yeah, so you're going to roll me. But all right, so my number one pick then will be Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, that's huge. That is huge. That hurts us to lose Seth Rollins.
It does indeed.
But I think with the number one pick, we'll fix that up and take Brock Lesnar, right?
But this is what I'm saying. This is where you knew exactly what I meant.
Brock Lesnar is a Raw superstar. That's why there's been all that talk of whether he will get drafted to SmackDown.
This is unfair. This is really unfair. All right. Well, my second pick then.
In saying that, before you get to the second pick, I think a lot of the marks out there would prefer Seth Rollins over Brock Lesnar on a show, to be honest. At least you're going to get Seth Rollins every week.
All the time. Yeah. My second pick then will be, we'll take Seth's current nemesis and we'll take Edge over.
Edge is going to Raw. Interesting. Well, I'm going to take someone who I would like to see in a feud with Brock Lesnar, and that is Bobby Lashley.
Okay, this is getting interesting. My next pick, I'm going to take my female star over, and I'm going to take the boss, Sasha
Banks. Making her way over to Raw. That's a good pickup by you. That is a great pickup by you. Well, I might actually take my female pick as well. And I'm going to take Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, fair. That's tough.
She's going to have some great matches with some people on that SmackDown roster.
Yeah. And now I'm going to take my tag team. And I feel like I know who you're going to take. So it's sort of disappointing that these guys can't go up against the team that you're going to take over. But I'm going to take the Street Profits over to Raw.
Okay. I think you don't know who I'm going to take.
Really? I thought you were going to take the New Day for sure.
I am not going to be taking the New Day. I will take my tag team now. And I'm going to take Styles and Omos.
Okay, that's good. That means I've got the Street Profits and the New Day over on Raw. That's some and RK Bro. Look, we're all good over there.
Yeah, I wanted RK Bro, and then we made the.
I knew you were going to.
We made the decision to not trade.
Yeah, I thought that. I was like, that's a good one for me. All right, so what's that? That's 4 picks.
Yep.
My last. I'm going to take another male. I'm tossing up here, but I'm going to stick with my boy KO. I'm going to take KO. He's going to get a resurgence over on Raw.
KO.
Yeah.
The KO show. Love it. All right. So my last pick, I am going to take The Miz.
The
Miz is going to SmackDown.
That's fair. Okay.
All right. Now you have your NXT call-up.
See, I'm tossing up. Obviously, we both would have loved Tommaso Ciampa, but he's a champ. I thought about bringing up Samoa Joe, but I'm going to go with Kyle O'Reilly.
Very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
I'm going to go with Kyle. I could see a match between Kyle O'Reilly and Edge in my eyes. I feel like that'd be a brilliant match on Raw.
O'Reilly to Ben's team. Well, I had 2 options, and I thought you would take one of them. So now I'm kind of tossing up. So,
you didn't have O'Reilly at all?
I didn't know. I think Adam Cole carried that rivalry.
You've got Zion Quinn, don't you? Bring him up.
Just for the Australian audience. No, I'm going to take Pete Dunne.
Yeah, he was my other choice.
The bruiserweight. Yeah. My other choice that I had was going to be LA Knight, but I've already got the Miz, which is kind of the same style of character. So I take Pete Dunne.
I had Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, and I was thinking about Grimes as well.
Yeah, I thought about Grimes too.
Yeah. So
Vince loves Grimes. All right. So Benny has drafted Seth Rollins, Edge, Sasha Banks, the Street Profits, Kevin Owens, and has called up Kyle O'Reilly. They will all be going to Raw. And SmackDown now gets Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, Shayna Baszler, AJ Styles, and Omos. The Miz and Pete Dunne.
You're just going to break up AJ over there straight away and just put him as a solo. I know.
Yeah, we'll just release him.
No, that's all right. I can see some great New Day versus Street Profits matches coming up.
Oh yeah, and you got the Usos too. Yeah, triple threat.
What?
Oh no, I've got the Usos.
You've got the Usos.
My bad.
Down since day one. Is you reckon you're wearing this shirt?
No, I know.
Come on, brother.
What a shocking way to end it. And that we will
cut
end
that
it.
bit out. We'll just cut that bit out.
We'll cut that out there. We'll cut that out in post. No. So there you go. Thanks for joining us again on 3 Count Podcast. We'll post our drafts to the socials. Let us know what you think. We'll be back next week. We're going to look at how the draft panned out and what we're excited about with the new additions to the rosters. Plus, we're going to look at all the happenings in AEW and the world of professional wrestling. Make sure you hit us up on the socials at 3 Count Pod on Twitter and Facebook, at 3 Count Podcast on Instagram, or email us at 3countpod@outlook.com. Benny, once again, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Dill. Freedom Day's around the corner here as well, mate. Get ready to get out and enjoy yourself.
That's right. And enjoy the draft.
Enjoy. Thanks, guys.